My first experience with Bigfoot was approximately 1969. I was duck hunting with my father, and there was a lot of movement in this area that was like heavily, it was heavy brush. We were duck hunting, so we were in like a like flooded area, for lack of a better description, in a blind. And I said to my father, I said, what is that? What's going on there? Is that a bear? And my father said, no, that's not a bear. There are no bear in these parts, because it came out and it's clear that it was a large furry animal. And he said, that's Momo the monster. And Momo the monster is what Bigfoot was called in Missouri. It was known as Momo the monster. It wasn't Sasquatch. It wasn't Bigfoot. The term Bigfoot gained popularity like in the late 70s, and that's really stuck, is Bigfoot and Sasquatch. But he said we don't really have anything to worry about, and he had this smile on his face. And I believe that that's because, we had shotguns, and my father had already had an experience with Bigfoot in 1953. At the time in 1953, he didn't know what it was. He had no idea what it was, and they thought originally, like as they were coming at him, they were thinking bear, but as soon as, one was shot at, point blank range, it was clear it wasn't a bear. The biggest problem with my channel and disseminating information about Bigfoot and Sasquatch is that there is it seems like a lot of people are confused, and they look at me and my life, and they seem to think that I'm supposed to be like one thing, and I'm not one thing. So they know that I'm a comedian, so they think that everything is a joke. And if you know anything about comedians, is that like they're some of the darkest people that you'll ever know. There's nothing more sad than the clown. I don't make jokes all the time, and I'm a very serious person. Just my business alone, dog training. I'm so, that's all it is. It's serious, and there's no disinformation. And that's how my channel is that I'm not putting out disinformation when it comes to certain things. However, at times I have made videos that are humorous about Bigfoot as a subject. But for the most part, when I'm talking about the body parts, the heads and everything else, that's just factual stuff that exists, that's been in my family for a long time. So, it's not, I don't feel like I should explain to everybody. Like, if I put out a video and it's under science and technology, that's serious. If I was putting out a Bigfoot or Sasquatch video and it was under entertainment, that might be something totally different. That would come under the heading of something like finding Bigfoot with Bobo. That's bullshit. When I'm talking about what happened in 1953 and the Sasquatch that I have, it's serious business. Yes, it is sort of annoying when people say that because I can make things. It's no secret I can make things. That those are produced by me, or they say I have an uncle which is, humorous, that I have an uncle that makes Hollywood special effects. What? He'd be like 90 years old. It's annoying. And then I have people saying, oh, that's wax, that's wood. Numerous materials, paper mache, I seem to hear a lot. It's not. They're not paper mache, they're not wax, they're not wood. It is what it is. People don't seem to think that, like, like it's acceptable for me to have more than one approach, which for me, that doesn't make any sense. Like if I just put out the Bigfoot body parts, that wouldn't get a whole other group of people in to know about Bigfoot and Sasquatch. In other words, if I do something funny, that might bring in a whole group of people that wouldn't really be interested in Bigfoot or Sasquatch. If I put something out as entertainment, I have no other alternative but to make stuff about my life. Like they say, art imitates life. And that's true. So as a person that I like to make things, I like to work on my house, I like to use my hands. If I'm making a video and it's about the subject matter of Bigfoot, but it doesn't have the Bigfoot body parts in it, that's because Bigfoot has been such a part of my life, my whole life, even, since I was a kid. So of course you would make things that are about your life. So do you see my point? You see my point that like my life is bigger than just the body parts. I do other things. I have a YouTube channel. It's gonna seep in. I have 5,000 videos. So I couldn't just do videos about the Bigfoot body parts. So I'm going to do things about Bigfoot because I find Bigfoot wildly interesting. I find it as interesting as UFOs, which are, pretty much a fact now that like there is something coming here. And I do say this when I talk about the Bigfoot body parts, that I believe that they're a biological recording device for the Greys. Now, there's these Bigfoot researchers out there that say that this is blasphemy that I say this, which is just absurd. We have video footage from the U.S. Navy now of UFOs, and it's quite clear that these are not from this, this world. It's not blasphemy, and I'm telling you that I have more proof that I'm going to talk about later. I'm not going to, in a video, I'm not going to say, hey, this is fact. This is entertainment. That's not what I'm going to do. I'm just going to tell you that not everything in my life is a joke. Many things in my life I'm deadly serious about. And the Bigfoot body parts and Bigfoot, I am serious about it, but I'm also a comedian, so at times, I might make a video that is humorous at times, but peppered in there, there's also going to be facts. Do you see what I'm saying? Like if I'm having a conversation with somebody, it's not just like, oh, I'm deadly serious all the time. That would make life boring. Yes, people are always saying on the internet, like the government's going to come and take them away and all this BS. Now, I will say this, that I have had an interaction with we'll just say a museum, a national museum, and it gave me the willies, and I stopped interacting with them because they have a bad reputation as far as taking care of antiquities. The U.S. government can't come and get the Bigfoot. They can't. It's not their property, and possession is 9/10 of the law. The other thing is that they are not kept on this property. My father passed away years ago, and I inherited some property that's close, and that's someplace where the Bigfoot body parts are all stored. So, people are like, oh, the government, all this, conspiracy theory and all this stuff, they're going to come and take it, blah, blah, blah. They don't have any right to take it. It's been in my family's possession since 1953. I honestly think that it worried my dad more, like my theory that I believe that the Bigfoot are a biological recording device for the Greys, what we call the Greys. And I think that worried my father too, that there's I'm more concerned about them coming and getting their property than the government. There has been scientists involved and testing done. And the testing that's been done, people are always saying, do DNA. And they have this like weird attitude, like, give it to me, I'll get it done. I don't know you. Or like, show me. You're not involved. But I will say this is when DNA testing has come back, it says either DNA corrupted, or it'll say, like, what was the last time it said? Unknown or something like that, DNA unknown. It's not from here. There's differences in Bigfoot. By the way, there's a lot of people that think that they know what Bigfoot looks like. And you know, the interesting thing of it is the Bigfoot that I have, that's in my family's possession, looks a lot like the Bigfoot that's in Russia. So there's like this standard of what people think Bigfoot looks like in the United States. And it's interesting because Bigfoot doesn't look anything like that. Bigfoot is what I have, and that's the way that they look. So there's this like ongoing thing of like people think that they know what it looks like, and you know, like you don't know what it looks like, or you would realize that what I have is real. This is real, and your idea, it's always somebody that probably never even steps foot in the woods, but they know what Bigfoot looks like. No, you don't. No, you don't. You don't know what it looks like. You don't know what they look like. You've never even seen one, and you probably never you never go in the woods. So it would be best, well, I don't really care. Say whatever you want. Say whatever you want. It really doesn't matter. The U.S. government, I believe, June 6th, there's going to be some kind of disclosure regarding UFOs. And, you know, there's a lot of people that have been waiting for this. And there's going to be a disclosure about the Bigfoot body parts, too. We're going to find out more. There's been a lot of suspicion. Look, you have Ronald Reagan saw a UFO. You have Jimmy Carter saw a UFO. There's all I saw something in my backyard. There's all kinds of people that have seen that. There's all kinds of people that have seen Bigfoot. There's going to be a disclosure coming up. I'm just saying, I just don't think that they want to shock everybody too much. So that's why there's been like this 65 years of like leaking out information, meaning Roswell, or just the group of children in that African country that saw a UFO, or the UFOs that are seen in Australia. It just keeps coming. It keeps coming. So more and more people see it, and it sort of makes it like more mainstream. That this isn't just an idea. It's a fact. It's a fact, and Bigfoot is the same way. So we're getting more and more information. There's going to be a huge disclosure. And I think everybody just needs to have an open mind and don't be too freaked out about what you're going to hear coming up. Meaning, the disclosure from the United States government, I think, is going to be sort of toned down. But just seeing the UFOs that the Navy took, and that article in the New York Times, that's just when I saw it, and when I've seen Bigfoot and the UFO that I saw, you see something like that, and owning something like the Bigfoot that I own, which is the only physical proof of Bigfoot that we have, it's life-changing. It's a religious experience. There's a lot of people that seem upset, and I'm not really sure why they're upset. They think that I'm giving the Bigfoot community shit because at times I'm a comedian. so they don't get my mannerisms or something. But I can tell you this, that Bigfoot is a very serious subject to me, and so is UFOs and just our general knowledge of what we are on this planet, and how we exist in the universe. I don't want to I don't want to scare people too much. There's a lot of people that are, oh, he sounds like a kook or something. So I don't want to say a whole lot, but I think that if you just keep an open mind to everything, and realize that the size of the universe, of the multiverse, you're talking about like this immense thing. It's abundantly clear that there's at least equal to us, probably greater than us. There's other beings in this world, and we are not alone. Physics as we know it, it's impossible for us to travel those great distances. But that's physics as we know it. Our physical world is not someone else's physical world. So to just even think about human beings 100 million years from now, how far will we advance technologically speaking? Think of how much we advanced just in the last 1,000 years. No, last 100 years. The last 100 years. We went to the moon. When I was a child, TV was black and white. Who owns a TV? Payphones existed when I was a kid. There are no payphones. Nobody wants to use a payphone. Think about it. Think about how far we have advanced in just 100 years. Now think about how far we could advance if we can stay alive 1,000,000 years from now. Are the Greys, I'm just posing this question, are the Greys us in the future? That's what I believe. I believe that they are us in the future. And Bigfoot, they do the bidding for the Greys, meaning they're just down here keeping an eye on the planet. They're a biological recording device, and that's it. There's more information that I'll talk about. Subscribe.